All right, here we go. Here we go. February 27th edition. Welcome, everyone. It's February 27th edition of the Tennessee USA Wrestling Power Hour podcast. This is your host, State Chairman Mike Hatcher. This is my co-host. Wow, almost like world famous coach now here in Tennessee.
I thought you were about to say
Sloan. Yes, very, very, very professional looking in the finals last weekend. And one of the one of the big new names in young women's coaching here in Tennessee. So how's that for an intro, Kenya?
Well,
You like that? Yeah. There we go. There we go. So welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining in. We got a great show ahead of us. Actually, I'm going to try really hard not to keep yapping and chatting it up and all that type of stuff.
We got a lot of good stuff today.
A lot of good stuff. We got a lot of good information. Very, very proud of our state of Tennessee for last weekend, not only on the state level, but national level. And we have, four really good. Let me see it. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests. So I don't know. Well, real quick, Kenya, you good?
I'm doing good. You good?
You doing good? Yeah, I'm doing good. And yesterday, according to someone, yesterday was Kenya's 24th birthday. Holy cow! There you go. We want us to, we could sing you happy birthday, Kenya.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. I guess we won't. We'll table that one then for later. But happy birthday, Kenya. 24. That's awesome. Wow, that's cool. I mean, somebody that announced that. They should have just said it's Kenya's birthday, because then we couldn't have deducted.
Who said it was 24th birthday?
Happy Union's wedding by trustee notary.
Oh, that's Brittany and Junior.
Oh, okay. Brittany and Junior. 24, is that right? 24?
Yeah, they have to out me out.
Thank you, Junior. I appreciate you bringing to everyone's attention that I'm twice Kenya's age. That's cool. Real cool. Love it. Thank you, Junior. Appreciate it. No, it's awesome. Awesome. So we're so thankful and so blessed to have Kenya as part of our show here and part of our organization. And happy birthday to you.
Thank you. That was
all
so
right.
kind.
So without further ado, let's just get into it. We got too much.
Go into it.
Yeah. We get chopping it up, chatting away. It's just it's not good. Yeah. So girls, kind of a big tournament last weekend. I don't know.
Yeah. Probably maybe the biggest one in the state like all year.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. What happened?
Our this is our our post state tournament review, and we have guests based off their performance at the state tournament and other things. So everything is TWSAA state review today. So that'll be super fun.
Sir. Yes.
On the girls' side, I'm going to go ahead with the results so we can get our awesome guests on here, and we don't get the Power Hour and a half podcast again.
There you go. Throw that in there.
Yeah. So we'll just go over who all made it into the finals match for each weight class, and then we'll hear our champions, and I'll review some team results at the end. So starting at a whopping 100 pounds for the girls division, in the finals match, we had Riley Sturgill, who's a freshman. So this is the start of a grand journey to potentially do something that our guest today has also done. You guys will see later when I plug that. So Riley Sturgill won in the finals match over Vivian. She's from Riley Sturgill from Baylor won over Vivian Mariscal from John Overton in a 5-0 decision. It was a pretty dominant, exciting match. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, but that's I tell you what, I was actually really curious, interested in that one. Not to jump in on you, but because I ran a practice last week, or was it last week? Last week, before the state tournament, for just some area Middle Tennessee kids, and Vivian was in there. She was in the practice, and I tell you what, she's tough. I mean, it was a good matchup. Yeah, she's really tough. She's going to do really well in college for sure. And she's a worker. I mean, I tell you what, it was one of those things where, and I know how good Riley is. I've watched her wrestle multiple times. I mean, Riley's the real deal, but that just tells you like that was not an easy out for Riley as a freshman wrestling, Vivian as a senior. I mean, and for her to, control the match pretty well like that, that was pretty impressive, because I'm telling you, Vivian's, she's tough, man. She's good.
Yeah. So. It's almost hard to watch a matchup that way when both athletes, clearly and obviously deserve to win. I mean, I guess that's probably every weight class, whoever to the finals, both of those kids probably are pretty well deserving. And so it's almost hard to choose sides when you're watching, but it makes for good entertainment. And it was a good match to watch. So
absolutely.
So the girls 107 match, we had Jaden Evans of York Institute. She is a junior, and she beat Peyton Agnell of Tullahoma in a third period fall. That was another match that, I mean, man, it could have gone either way any day of the week. So it was a good match. I'm not
going to make it a habit. This is the last one. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But this was actually really cool too, because so I had Cody Cleveland in to do a President's Day camp.
Okay.
Last week. Well, the week of the state tournament. And these girls they were from York showed up, and I was like, oh, okay, wow. I had no idea where York was. And then I ran into them at state, and they're like, thank you very much for the camp. We learned a lot, all that type of stuff. So I started asking them where they're from. It's like literally in the middle of nowhere. So I was like, oh, and she came up, and after she won, I was like, hey, that's awesome. Congratulations. So I just figured she'd been wrestling for a while. Well, then I'm looking up information on one of our guests tonight, and I come across this. Jaden Evans wins by pin 5 minutes over Tullahoma's Peyton Agnell. Not only a first state title, but the first wrestling championship for York Institute. Her title came in her second year of wrestling. This girl's only been wrestling for 2 years.
Yeah. I met her mom this weekend, and she told me that she plays another combat sport. Maybe it was
obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yeah, she didn't advance. She didn't qualify for state last year in 2023, and now comes back and
wins the state title. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah. Sounds like we should make a movie about her.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
At least have the podcast. That's a close consolation, right?
Yeah. Movie podcast.
Yeah, we'll open a movie podcast, Tennessee USA Wrestling Podcast. That's kind of the same. Maybe we can give it an award. Yeah, that would actually be a great guest. But I saw that. I just stumbled across that. So I thought it was super, super interesting. That was cool. All right, that's it. I'm not jumping.
Okay, you're good. Hey, feel free. So at the girls 114 bracket in the finals, we had Melanie Val of St. Andrew Swanee. She was a senior, and she won on decision 10-2 over Senna Grassman of Cleveland. At 120, we had Natalie Shane from Bradley Central. We had her coach on here a few weeks ago. I think she was the only girl from our team to qualify. She won. She's a senior. She won over Lexi Dean of West Creek in a 9-6 decision.
Wow.
At 126, we had Jasanya Bearfield from West Creek. She's a junior. She won over Abigail Vanderheiden of Siegel in a first period fall. The 132 bracket, we had Haley Cox of McGavick. She's a junior. She won over Sophia Satterfield of Knox Falls 6-1. And 138, we had Mariana Bowen, who took home her state championship over Delilah Queen. Mariana is a senior over Delilah Queen of Knox Catholic. And a fall at 124. Saw that one up close and personal. I heard a little bit, but it happened. At 145, we had Audrey Lewandowski of Montgomery Central. She is a senior, and she won her state championship over Sally Johnson of Northwest with a 2-0 decision. 152, we had Cricket Jones of Carnes. This is another super cool story, Hatch. Cricket she's a senior this year. I think she's been to state all 4 years that she's wrestled. She had never placed at the state tournament until this year. She wrestled in the finals and won the state tournament at 152 against Sawyer Ward of Science Hill. She won by fall in the second period. So that was also a really good matchup. I mean, seeing Cricket, I can't really say grow because I didn't see her in the years before, but I just knew from stats kind of where she stood in the state, and then to watch her dominate our region tournament, which she did, and then wrestle all the way through the bracket and win was super, super cool. Her first time on the podium, she's at the very top. So congrats, Cricket.
Congrats.
At 165, we had Piper Fowler of Cleveland. She's a junior. This was her third state championship that she won. She beat Rebecca Deo of Knox Catholic with a fall in the first period. Those nasty head and arms she got, man, those were great. Yeah. 185, we had Ella Murphy of Hardin Valley. She's a senior. She won her state championship over Carter Grissom of Riverdale in a second period fall. This was Ella's 4th state championship, which is really
Mhm.
cool. I feel like I'm giving some stuff away from later on the podcast. We got one more to review. But I think she's maybe the 5th girl in the state to win 4 consecutive state championships. So, I mean, she's now in a very small, like, elite group of people who can say she's done that. So that's super cool. And then at girls 235, we had Madeline Zunnan of Cleveland. She's a junior, and she went over Shania Weisinger of Clarksville with a 4-1 decision.
Wow.
So, yeah, lots of good matches. A lot of things that were like, I mean, maybe some people could say predictable, but then a lot of things that were absolutely not predictable and surprising. So it was a super cool tournament to be a part of and watch. As far as the team scores go, in 5th place, we had Gibbs with 62 points. And 4th, we had Montgomery Central at 72, Clarksville at 3rd place with 100. At 2nd, we had West Creek with 113. And then in 1st place, surprise, surprise, we had Cleveland with 178. So, I mean, pretty dominant. They were like maybe 10 points apart between like 5th, 4th, 3rd, and then 2nd. And then we jumped to like a 50-point lead from between the 1st and 2nd place team. So congratulations to all 5 of those teams, but especially to Cleveland, who just had, I mean, we've had Coach Boskin on this show at least once since I've been on here, but the way they really
Coach Morris.
and we've had Coach Morris, yeah. So we've had both of those coaches,
both on there.
But the way that they've really created and built this girls program up from, I mean, the absolute dust over the past few years is like a crazy phenomenon to get to watch and see. So it was awesome to see their team together this past weekend. So those are all the results for the state tournament. And then without further ado, Hatch, do you remember that that 4-timer that I mentioned at 1 and 5?
I do. Oh, hey, there she is. Hey.
Welcome. Hi, Ella. How are you?
What's up, Ella?
Oh, good. How are you?
Good. To everyone viewing, this is the Ella Murphy. We've had the joy of having her on our podcast before, but this is the first time we've had her on our podcast as a 4-time state champion. How does it feel?
It's bittersweet. I'm really happy that I achieved the goal that I originally set out to get, and I'm also excited that it's over.
Yeah, I'm sure. Was this a goal that you had in mind, like as soon as you started wrestling, or whenever you started wrestling in high school, or you were just kind of like, hey, I won 1, I won 2, might as well win 4?
I actually remember when I was in 6th grade wanting to just be on the wrestling team. That was my huge goal, was just to be on the wrestling team. And then one of my coaches pulled me out and put me on the high school team because he thought that I was going to win a state championship. And then after I won my first, we kind of just decided that I should win all 4. So
why shouldn't you? Yeah. So another cool piece of this, which I know I already said this earlier, so Hutch knows, but Ella and I wrestled at the same, well, I guess she still wrestled at Hardin Valley, but we wrestled at the same school in West Knoxville, which is kind of like strangely surprising because this is not a school that has a girls wrestling program. They never have. Whenever I was on the team, I was the only girl on the team. And Ella, you've pretty much been the only consistent female athlete on your team for the 4 years you've been there. Is that true?
yes.
Yeah. So what was it like, or what is it?
Coach there has a pretty good state championship winning percentage. If you've got like 2 girls and both of them are 4-time state champs, I mean, tell you what, I'll trade in my whatever 30 years of coaching in for that any day of the week.
Yeah, they've got a pretty good draw with those two.
Yeah. Tell you what, that's pretty impressive.
It is. So Ella, what was I about to ask you? Oh, I was gonna say I know because I've been through this, but could you tell like all of us what it's like to be the only female on your team? Like, how is it different than what you've seen the dynamic of like other girls in our state who maybe wrestle on an all girls team? Like, what's it mean for your training? What's it mean socially? What does it mean for like your goal setting and travel and competition? Like all of those things.
It really wears on you a lot of times. At first, I wasn't really accepted by all of the guys, but as I started to like kind of understand them more, I did get more accepted, and they became my friends. Wow, couldn't hear myself there for a second. The only wrestling partners I've ever had were guys, except like the few years that there were girls. But they kind of just like started treating me like a man.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes harder because when all the guys are like grouped up in a hotel room, like I'm by myself with my mom.
Yeah.
Or like you can't do everything that the guys are doing because you're a girl, and that's always been a little hard, but also I can beat them up if it comes to it. So that's
I'm sure they know that too, not just you, right?
yes.
Good.
Wow.
That's cool. So whenever you traveled, because I mean, I got to see you a few times as I was coaching in the state. You were kind of traveling by yourself. Maybe you had a different coach in your corner, depending on if the boys had a different competition. So did that play a role in, like how you planned or prepared for a tournament?
It really depended on the tournament. Coach Bates is my head coach, and
Mhm.
then we don't have an assistant coach. So if I did have to be in like another gym or a different school, Coach Furman would come with me, who is
Mhm.
actually a great wrestling coach. I love for him to be in my corner.
Oh.
And then I also will train with Junior, obviously, when
Yeah.
when I'm not at practice and I have time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That'd be kind of cool, like being that assistant coach. You're like, okay, well, I'll go over here with Ella, no problem. Just knowing the fact that, you know what, I'm just gonna sit in the corner, let her do her thing.
let her do her thing,
There
really.
we go.
And that's
Yeah, don't worry about it. You take all those guys. You take all whatever. Those guys. I got her.
Yeah. Right. Well, this was the reason I kind of asked that question is because I learned Hatch. Like I saw Ella and Coach Furman. I saw them together at a few tournaments throughout the year, and I thought he wasn't coaching the wrestling team. And I knew him because I went to school there, and he coached my brother when my brother played football. And so at the region tournament, we finally had enough downtime, and I sat next to him, and I was like, "So are you like helping coach the wrestling team?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Wait." I was like, "Well, then why are you always like coaching Ella everywhere?" And he's like, "Well, they didn't have an assistant coach, and she pretty much knows what she's doing, but they just need someone to, be in her corner and like have someone to hang out with." And so if they ever need, and I think he coached like wrestling in his past, but he's a football coach and also Ella's personal like buddy and corner mate whenever she needs to, and whenever she needs a coach. So I just thought it was a super cool dynamic that, it's true that like Ella Murphy's going to go be Ella Murphy and do what she's going to do on the mat, no matter who's in her corner, whether it be a wrestling coach or a football coach. But it just adds to like another part of your very unique experience, and the fact that like you didn't probably have the picture perfect situation that all the boys on your team had. Like you kind of just had to take with you who you could take with you and hope for the best.
Also, sometimes I won't even be able to find my own coach, so I'm very used to just running around grabbing the first coach that I see and saying, "Hey, can you please be in my corner?"
Yeah.
And a lot of them will say yes, and I don't think I've had anybody say no yet.
Who would?
So
I wouldn't say no.
Sure.
Yeah, like I know I'm going to look good. That's awesome.
That's fun.
Well, even though your high school career has come to, the best end that it could possibly come to, but it is, coming to an end for your like high school folk style season. You have made a decision to continue your wrestling career, maybe in college.
yes.
Would you like to tell us where you're going to be continuing your career?
I committed to Oklahoma City University.
Wow.
Woohoo!
Dang.
That's such an amazing program, man. I have a good relationship with the head coach, Nicole Tyson. She actually recruited me, Hatch,
Oh, yeah?
at CU. She followed me from the time I was young, recruited me for CU, and then left the next year and tried to recruit me to OCU. And I was like, man, I like it here. But she's an amazing coach. When I heard that she got you, Ella, I was so happy for her in the program and also for you. But I know for a fact that was not the only school interested in you, or that you maybe spoken to. What other programs were hoping to get Ella Murphy on their lineup?
CU recruited me. I actually did go on a visit there. King College.
Mhm.
What were the other ones? I think Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then some other ones.
Some other ones that maybe didn't get to visit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just really narrowed it down for myself.
Yeah, that's the
to
best way to do it. So what were your final two that you were choosing between?
CU and Oklahoma City University. So, and I chose OCU.
Yeah.
What drove you to
Yeah.
Oklahoma City University? Oh, I'm curious.
Um, CU is like really close to my home, and that is a very good way for my dad showing up to my campus unannounced.
Yeah.
If
OCU
I'm
is a bit
across
of
the country, it's harder for that to happen.
was that truly the determining factor?
No, there were a bunch of different factors, but it was one of them. It was one of the
Yeah,
factors.
what were some of the other things that made OCU stand out?
Um, Coach Tyson definitely. Her brother, when I was at a different tournament, actually came up to me and tried to recruit me, and I did like how it was sounding,
Mhm.
and I I kept hearing about this Coach Tyson, and then when I saw her in person, not at all like what I was envisioning in my head
Oh,
about
Hatch, she
this
weighs
Coach T
about 105 pounds.
Oh, really?
She's like 4'10", like maybe 110 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Tiny and very feisty and had a very successful wrestling career.
Oh, wow.
Is that what caught you off guard, Ella?
Yes, I was expecting like I don't know, I had this very like distinct image in my head of what Coach Tyson was. I think it was just um
Just
what's
not
that one wrestler that's named Tyson? I don't
Mike
know, just
Tyson?
like
You're expecting
blonde.
Mike Tyson vibes?
that.
Yes.
Oh,
Mike
geez.
Tyson
Very
just
Oh,
as a lady with like undercut ponytail, and then she's like this feisty little
Yes, very poised,
brunette.
elegant, and yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Well, I know for a fact that you guys are going to make a good pair. I mean, she's an amazing coach and an amazing technician, and you're an amazingly hard worker, and obviously you've got plenty of talent for as far as you've come in our state. So, congratulations on signing to OCU. I'm so excited
Thank
to watch.
you.
I'm sure our whole state is excited to watch you continue to represent us and kick butt on the college level. Before we let you go, do you have any coaches, family members, friends, or anything you want to shout out for, give them thanks for helping you make all the success throughout your high school career?
Obviously Junior Hernandez,
Yeah.
um, just always coaching me, pushing me, even when I'm doubting myself or like right before the biggest tournaments, he's always there going, you're gonna be fine. We came here to win, so just keep pushing. Um, my brother, Marshall, much as I hate it, he pushed me a lot to get here, fighting me, bullying me,
Yeah. What brothers do?
whatever it took.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Well, that's awesome.
Good stuff. Junior,
Shout out.
there you are, boy.
All right, Ella. Well, we have we have so many things in common. We were both junior trained. We were both wrestled at Hardin Valley, both won four, both were coached by Nicole Tyson at some point. I mean, we might as well be one person. So congrats, Ella. We're so proud. Thanks for joining us today. Do you have anything for
Thank
Ella
you.
before we let her go, Hatch?
No, hey, congratulations! Like I said, 4-time state champ. That's just an amazing feat. So we're very very proud of you, and we'll know you'll represent Tennessee to the highest level when you get on the college level. So appreciate you.
Bye,
Thank
Ella.
you.
See you next time.
Thanks, Ella. Dang, we're getting all kinds of girls going in the college ranks, huh, Kenya? Tell you what, it's gonna be awesome. I mean, shoot, every year I think we're just gonna probably just keep adding them on.
Yeah.
So
I'm super excited to just like watch college women's wrestling for fun and be like, oh yeah, I know her. She wrestled in Tennessee. Oh yeah, I know her. She wrestled in Tennessee. So
that's
it's gonna
awesome.
be alrighty.
That's crazy that the two of you all went the same high school. I mean, literally. I mean, probably. I mean, the way you guys are making it sound. I mean, you guys literally have had like Ella had. I don't know. Did she have like 5 teammates throughout her whole 4 years? Or maybe
As
like
teammates,
girl teammates.
maybe less. I think I know of 2 or 3 outside of her, but they would all like wrestle for a year and then leave.
Okay, so let's just say there was 10 like maybe there's 10 year total. You two and then 8 others. So
Yeah.
this coach literally has like 8 state championships amongst 10 kids, and like 20% of them are 4-timers.
Yeah,
Nuts.
that's true. It's very true. And the coaches there have been, I mean, there's been a different coach there almost every other year since my senior year of college. So, but I mean, sorry, since my senior year of high school. but they've had a lot of numbers on their team. And I mean, obviously consistency shows to pay off. And it also, I think, goes to pay off whenever I think it's no coincidence that the two girls that had such success there were like were training in clubs and had private lessons and stuff like that. And that's the stuff that really makes a difference. So,
wow, that's crazy. That's awesome. Good
yeah.
stuff.
All right. Without further ado, what happened to our guys?
Yeah. I'm gonna go over the. I'm gonna save the. We had two really big tournaments going on last weekend. Obviously, the state tournament here in Tennessee for public schools, and then we also have the private schools are at a national prep tournament at Lehigh.
You interrupted me, so I'm gonna interrupt you to get back. I forgot. Tennessee actually sent one female wrestler to prep nationals, and she's from non-Catholic. Aaliyah Whaley took third place at prep nationals. Congrats, Aaliyah!
Really?
So sorry. Yes.
Dang.
She's the first girl from Tennessee to ever compete at prep nationals. So that was actually a really big accomplishment. We should have highlighted.
Wow!
Congrats, Aaliyah Whaley.
Especially, I mean, third place. That's no joke. Good for her.
Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, like I said, I mean, we're getting a lot more interest on there. So we'll go into the national prep stuff here in a second, in a little bit after our first couple guests here. But at the last weekend's state tournament, great tournaments. I mean, I'll go down. What I'm going to do is I'll go through the individual results, and then I'll go team results. Just same thing as you did. So in the class AA, which is the bigger schools, larger schools, starting out at 106. 106 finals, 106 finals where Jose Cordero of Cleveland, he repeated second state title. He won last year, obviously as a freshman, beat a knockout freshman that we have here in Tennessee as well, Andrew Workman. Workman actually beat Jose, I believe it's twice throughout the year, and Jose came back and beat him in the finals 4-0 last weekend. 113, Cleveland won that one as well. Chase Walker's state champ over Sebron Colson of Blackman. 120, Mason Jacob, who we had on the podcast before, my favorite kids. I love that kid's awesome. But Mason Jacob of Dobbins Bennett beat Chase Smalling of Science Hill in the finals, major decision 11-2. 126, Hunter Heflin of Arlington beat Zach Boskin of Cleveland in sudden victory 2-1. Really, it was a tight match throughout the whole thing, and actually controversy at the end. I honestly didn't see it, and honestly, I don't really get into the controversy side. I'm not sure what the call was, like really what specifically what the call is. I didn't see it, but again, it's a really, really hotly contested match, and it was actually the last match of the night, so it was kind of a wild ending there in the double A's. 132, Jarvis Little won his third state championship for Summit. He beat Andrew Donaldson of Brentwood in the finals by fall. Again, Jarvis Little, one of our elite wrestlers in the state here. Again, 3-time state champ, placed in multiple national tournaments, going to Appalachian State next year. So really super proud of Jarvis. I mean, and just a tireless worker. I mean, the kid has really, really just taken his wrestling to another level the last 3 years. So very proud of him. 138, Thomas Rubio of Blackman beat Arash Yazdani of Brentwood in the finals. 4-1, a good match. I mean, two really good kids. Obviously, Arash, I know him really, really well. He's one of my young guns kids. And just amazing, just a great kid. And I love seeing him in the finals. And Rubio from Blackman's dang tough boy, especially for a sophomore. So look for a lot of good things out of him. It's a great match though. 144, Landon DeSalle of Summit won his second state championship over Riddick Romano of Independence. Two kids that I'm also pretty close to. Landon, I'm very, very, very proud of him. I'm obviously one of our state elite kids, committed to Ohio State University. To go to continue on his career next year. And Riddick Romano, man, I'm telling you what, man, what a worker. The kid's such a great kid from Independence. Placed for the first time last year as a sophomore and found his way to the finals against Landon, who, is arguably, one of, if not the best kid that we have in the state. So hats off to Riddick as well. And it was another all Williamson County final. Which I'll probably mention that a couple times a year throughout just to give my area a plug, but great stuff there. 144, 150, Braden Leach of Summit, another Wilco kid, beat Harlan Hunley of Knox Halls. He pinned him in the finals. And again, like I said, we had Braden on. I think we had Braden on the very first podcast after the Who's Number One. And I'm telling you, that kid just keeps getting better and better and better and better. So look for great things for him in the future. I mean, he's just I'm telling you, he's a special talent. We're going to be seeing more of him for sure. 157, Cy Fowler of Cleveland one of 3 Fowler State champs we have here. Beat Zachary Little, which is Jarvis's brother, in the finals from Summit. Beat him 5-0. Got to control the match. But I tell you what, like I said, Zachary is a sophomore. I'm telling you, he's got a big upside to him too. Cy Fowler, juniors, coming back next year, hopefully to defend that state championship. So you never know. Maybe we'll see another rematch next year. 165, Logan Fowler, won by major decision over Chase Mays from Nolensville. Again, Logan, one of our best kids that we have in the state right now, committed to go to Air Force Academy. Looks spectacular. Great kid, great family. Man, really looking forward to watching him move on in college. And Chase Mays, Nolensville had a great season this year, 40-2. Another one of our Middle Tennessee kids that got in the finals. Really proud of him. 175. This was an interesting one. This was in my opinion, it was probably the most highly anticipated match of the double A, especially maybe of the whole tournament. So it was between Trey McTorrey of Nolensville and Jake Stacy, Green Hills. Jake obviously committed to Little Rock, Fargo All-American, Super 32 All-American. I mean, rock star of a kid in general. I mean, amazing kid. Him and Trey wrestled at the beginning of the year, and I believe Jake majored him. And it was when Trey was just coming out of football. Not making excuses for him, but I know that's what the word was. But they wrestled again in the sectional finals, and Trey beat him in the sectional finals, but actually pinned him towards the end of the match. A pretty close match, and then pinned him at the end of the match. So this was like, people were really looking forward to this match. So sure enough, it goes into overtime, and I honestly couldn't even see what happened, but Jake was in on a leg. Maybe, I mean, who knows? Could have been the winning takedown, could have not been. Maybe Trey spins around. I don't know, who knows? But all of a sudden, his shoulder just like pops out, and like it's like a horrible dislocation. They actually thought that his shoulder was fractured, but I talked to Jake the other day. He said it wasn't, just dislocated, but it was. I was hoping that match would have just came and just wrestled out, because it was really a great match. Two of our very best kids in our state really going head to head, and it was a great match. And then unfortunately, just an unfortunate ending. But hope Jake heals up really quick. I'm very proud of Trey. I mean, Trey, Victoria is one of those. He's a 3-point sport athlete. He's really good in football, really good in baseball, and he's really good in wrestling. So we know nobody's ever really seen what he can do with 12 months of wrestling. So if he goes to college and wrestles, I'm telling you right now, him being a senior, he goes to college and wrestles, watch out. Because he's really good on 3-4 months of wrestling.
Yeah, could you imagine how good he would be?
12 months
full-time wrestling.
Yeah, it's going to be. He's a 75 pounder now, but wow, it shocked me if he's going to be a 90 pounder or 97 pounder before he gets out of college. That's work for you if he chooses to do that, or maybe play football or baseball. Who knows what he's going to do? But he's an amazing athlete. But both great kids. I'm glad they both went that weight class to wrestle each other. Yep. Sometimes a lot of people separate, but anyway, 190. Lucas Szymborski of Cleveland beat Spencer Kahn in a pretty close match, 3-1 in the finals. Great match. Spencer, great kid, hard worker. Lucas, same thing. But yeah, really good match, 3-1. 215. Logan McBee of Shelbyville County beat Garrett Crowder of Dobbins Bennett in the finals, 8-2. And look like a battle of two seniors there. So that kind of clears that weight class out for some other people next year. And then at heavyweight, Tyson Russell of Cleveland pinned Peter Saravino of Summit in the finals, 2 juniors. So they'll be back next year as well. So double A's, a lot of really great wrestling, a lot of really great matches. Plug for our Williamson County area. I thought I might as well do that, huh? We had the most finalists they've ever had in Williamson County.
Oh, wow. Well, congrats.
Yep. I think we had two all Williamson County finals, maybe 3. I know at least 2. So, shout out to like all the, like I said, the Williamson County coaches in here. I mean, we just, the wrestling in our area just keeps getting better and better. And man, it's just, it's great to be a part of it. As far as from team score perspective, 5th place, Brentwood, 4th place, Blackman. It was, like I said, pretty tight race between those 3 for a while. Nolensville was 3rd. They finished 3rd. Victoria kind of put him up there, but that his match, getting the 3rd place. Summit wrestled really well last weekend. They have, obviously a lot of horses, and finished second, pretty easily. And then they finished about 60 points behind Cleveland, who won pretty handily. And everybody kind of knew they were going to be a little bit difficult to knock off. They just have too many horses. But, hats off to Joey Knox and his crew there. I mean, they just continue to crank them out, and they just do a fantastic job there. So, congrats to them again. But another plug for Williamson County. We had three of the top five. Blackman, or not Blackman, but Summit, Nolensville, and Brentwood, all in top five. Williamson County. So when I told everybody that region was the toughest region and the toughest sectional, I wasn't lying.
He was like, "No, I've got this."
I wasn't lying. I told you so.
Yeah.
So, but no, congratulations to all the state place winners out there. Huge accomplishment, and it was a great tournament.
Yeah,
so, this a single A results real quick, and then we'll get to our next guest. 106, Luke Mayan from Soddy Daisy beat Dalton Lopez from Millington Central in the finals by major decision. 113, Samuel Combs from Seymour beat Aiden Jenkins from Soddy Daisy in the finals by major decision. 120, you'll probably recognize this name, Jojo Yurchuk of Signal Mountain beat Tyson Flavin of Soddy Daisy by a major in that one as well. I believe that's JoJo's, I want to say it's his second state title. Who knows? I mean, Yurchuk's got like 36 state championships between the four of them, or 15 of them, or how many Yurchuks there are, who knows? But another state title coming home to the Yurchuk family. 26, Carson DePill, another one of our elite wrestlers in the state from Greenville, won by major decision over Landon Turner of Harpeth. 132, of course, Ethan Yurchuk, Signal Mountain, beat Andrus Hamilton of Tullahoma in the finals by technical fall. That one, I believe, is Ethan's fourth state title. He's going for his fifth next year, if I'm not mistaken. Again, just I lose track on which Yurchuk's a 4, 5, 6, 18 time.
Yeah. 18 times.
I mean,
every year since birth.
They probably got their own little state championship room in their.
Yeah, they're like, who's the real champion of the champions? Who's the real state champ of the year?
So 138, Andrew Lewis of Soddy Daisy beat Riley Napier of Heritage. 144-pound state champion was Caden Mears of Tullahoma, who beat Braylon Cosper 3-1 in the finals from Soddy Daisy. 150 was Brody McLemore from Eagleville, beat Corbin Evans of Tullahoma in the finals 5-2. 157 final, Elijah Turner from Soddy Daisy beat Dylan Davenport from Sycamore 3-2 in the finals. A pretty hotly contested match there. 165, Damian Lavelle of Clinton High School beat Wyatt Howard of Pidgeot Forge in the finals in a sudden victory overtime match 3-1. 175, Jackson Davis of Signal Mountain beat Logan Wallison of Soddy Daisy, major decision in the finals. 190 was Connor Evans of Tullahoma beat Isaac Chapa of Cascade 4-2 in the finals. 215, Rob Atwood of Truesdale County won his third state championship over John Geist of Livingston Academy, 7-0. And last but certainly not least, the 285s, Jonathan Davis of Soddy Daisy beat Christopher Flockhart of Cook County 4-3 in the finals. So pretty exciting ending right there. If you paid attention to those results whatsoever, I mean, it was probably pretty easy to figure out who the state team champion was. But in fifth place, Eagleville was at 83.5, Pigeon Forge 98. Tullahoma was in there third, 111.5. Signal Mountain just edged them by 8 with 19.5, and Soddy Daisy basically doubled everybody. I mean, they just rolled everybody up. So, like I said, they put a ton of guys in the finals, so great performance from Soddy last weekend. So, we might as well get into it right now. We got this guy waiting right here. Actually, we got two representing the Soddy Daisy team. There they are.
What's up?
What's going on, Ulric?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm good. I just got the hard part out of the way, man. I mean, all these results. I'm not a results man. I like just chopping it up with people. So people I've known Ulric forever. Kenya, this is Ulric Winesburgh.
How are you?
Soddy Daisy. This is Elijah Turner, one of his many state champions that he had this past weekend. And they've been here joining us on the podcast and talk a little Soddy Daisy wrestling and the state of the program, the dynasty.
We're working on it. That's for sure.
That's right. But yeah, this is my co-host Kenya, and we're here to see what's going on there in Soddy.
Yeah, we're. I mean, ever since I took over during that COVID year, we've just been rebuilding, and now we're starting to see the fruits of our labor. So we had 8 in the finals. We had 12 state placers this year. Took off 14 guys. So, and we had our 4 champs, and it's pretty nice.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they've been. This is one of those programs I think, and it's just I mean that, in my opinion, it has to be relevant in Tennessee wrestling. There's so much history at Soddy Daisy High School, from your Steve Henry era to all the really great teams that he had and the ones that came afterwards. Ulric, Soddy Daisy grad, wrestled at UTC. This is kind of a coming full circle right here. I actually coached Ulric my first year at UTC.
No.
Yeah. I coached Ulric at UTC, and he was such a hard worker. We wrestled a couple times, and he was so dang strong, man. It's like I can normally get guys' wrists. Back then, not now. I can barely get my 3-year-old niece's wrist, but back then I could actually, and I was a little bit younger, and I couldn't get Ulric's wrist. He's too strong. But coming back full circle though. Now he's a coach there. He started out. He's coaching at Red Bank here before then, right?
I was at Red Bank with Shane,
like
2014, and then through 2016 when we won a state duels championship there. And then he stepped away to go to Boyd, and I took over for 1 year there, and had a state champion, and then left there, went to Hickson for 3 years, and then found my way back home.
Back home. Yep. So like I said before, this is one of those programs that really, in my opinion, just needs to be relevant. To have, some down years at Soddy, that's just not Soddy Daisy wrestling. But now Ulric's back, Shane's back there, as basically as associate head coach, so to speak. I think that's the title. And so now you got 2 just great coaches there that are leading this program to Soddy Daisy prominence. So what was when you first got there and kind of took it back over, what was like some of the first things that you implemented as far as getting the train back on the tracks?
Well, a lot of it was when I first got here, they were putting a roof on it, on our gym. That was like 25 years in the making. I remember wrestling in high school, and we're like just putting trash cans out in the middle of the mat to make sure it's soaking wet. But we were getting the gym ready. We had to restructure our kids club. We had to get the middle schools back in line with, building a system. And it really started to kick off when I got Shane Turner back here. And he really helped me align it back to where it needed to be. And we're still kind of working on some things, but our club's doing pretty well. Our middle schools did pretty good in their HCAC championships. And I mean, of course, our high school did really well this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's been a lot of work, and you know how our gym is. We are have our standalone wrestling arena, and since I've been here, we had the roof put on. We got new bleachers, got the floors redone, bought us a new competition mat. We've been fundraising like crazy to try to not just fix the wrestling, but also fix our gym too. So
right. I mean, I don't know. Have you been to Soddy Daisy's wrestling arena, Kenya?
I think when I was a kid, like a little, I would always wrestle tournaments there.
Everybody likes these like new and whatever, modern and really cool featured wrestling. I'll tell you what, that might be. NBA's is pretty cool. I mean, I'll say that NBA wrestling is pretty nice. But man, I tell you what, that Soddy Daisy wrestling arena is just awesome. It's just like an old school, like bigger version of a Hoosiers gym that's just all dedicated to wrestling, and it's just I love it. I love the layout. I just love, I love everything about it. And when you guys were starting to redo that thing and kind of revamp it all, that just that really made me happy. I hope you guys weren't going to change the order of it though.
No, we're going to keep it where it's super hot in the summers and you come in and start sweating. So.
Oh, absolutely. So who you got with you? Who's this guy by you? Who's got some crazy hair?
State Champ Elijah Turner.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He has been instrumental in changing the aspect of the wrestling room and the kind of the intensity that we got to change in our program, and he was part of that.
Yeah. So so tell us a little bit about that, Elijah. I mean, you're a senior now, just won a state championship. Since this whole resurgence of the Soddy program, I mean, considering that you're one of the, the guys that really, because it all comes back to practice, obviously. What you're doing in the practice room is obviously gonna, set the tone for what you do from a competitive standpoint. But what do you think has been like the biggest changes in the daily practice? Let's just call it practice culture at Soddy.
I think the discipline that we have has brought us really far, and our toughness throughout the workouts have been a big thing. Just pushing hard, getting in the room, doing the work day in, day out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good rules to live by, I think, if you're going to be a wrestler, isn't it?
Yeah. You want to be a good one.
If you want to be a good one, that's a good one. So now, did you have to get? I guess I would assume that one of the leaders on the team. Did you have to really take part in really more the recruiting part of it, as far as getting getting some more kids in the room, getting maybe some tougher kids in the room, maybe get your guys' type of Soddy Daisy, just grinders into the room and getting them all together? You kind of spearhead that?
Yes, sir. I think recruiting wise, we didn't really. Mm-hmm. But the kids that we brought in,
I didn't mean like recruiting like from others. I meant like recruiting the Soddy Daisy halls and getting guys back, getting some time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the kids, they got tough. That was a big thing this year. We got our kids that we had in previous years, and they just got tough.
Yeah. Good. Now,
this is the start of the middle, like the kids that just came up. The ninth graders are part of the club when I took over, and then I implemented and got my club coach in there, and they've been a part of that. And most of them wrestle 8, 9, 10 months out of the year. So,
oh wow,
that's been pretty instrumental.
Yeah. So now, who's doing the club there now?
I have David Klingsheim. He's doing it right now. Andrew Strain, he's helping. But those two, and then we all kind of do the freestyle and Greco.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So now, Elijah, what was it like? I mean, you obviously seen this really thing, being this your fourth year, in the program. I mean, you've seen it kind of come full circle. I mean, describe this year. You guys had just an incredible year. Dual meet state champs, traditional state champs. What's it feel like right now to sit here wow, that was really, that looking back here 4 years, what are you thinking?
Pretty awesome. I mean, my first years of wrestling, we're in a Soddy Daisy singlet when I was 35 pounds, little tiny thing. And it's just awesome to start here and finish here. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Good deal. My wife posted a picture on Facebook where it's me and Shane in Elijah's corner when he was probably 3, 4 years old. And then it is me and Shane in his corner when he's, a senior in high school. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Good. Well, Ulric, so now what's moving forward here? Moving forward for Soddy Daisy Wrestling. What's the, what's next 5-year plan?
5 years, we'll take it, we want to continue on this success and keep building on it. And, we want to kind of do what Cleveland's doing. We want to continue to win year after year. And, if I can continue to get as many kids as I have in the freestyle and Greco, and we're wrestling at least 10 months out of the year, it'd be kind of hard to not do that. So I mean, since I've been here, we've I've had at least 10 kids wrestling year round.
Wow.
We might take July off or, August off, and then we start back at preseason. There's no real, dead time. So that's been success, our key. And then I got a lot of help that, kind of helps me keep me in line and keep this train moving in the right direction. I have, Shane Turner helping me. I have Josh Edmondson helping me. Jeremy Gooden. Those are my assistants at high school. I got Klingsheim and Strain at the club.
Mm-hmm.
I got my wife that kind of is the glue that holds everything together anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I got plenty of help, and I got a lot of kids that are invested and want to be good. So kind of makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Kenny, you got anything for these two Soddy legends?
No, I just want to say congrats. I was sitting with one of my girls because we were warming up before her finals match. She leans over to me and she was like, "Why is there so many Soddy Daisy kids down here?" I'm like, "They're all wrestling in the finals." So, I mean, you guys are hard to miss. Like, your success is just, I mean, it's immaculate. So it was cool to watch you guys. I'm sure it's so fun to be a part of. So congratulations to you both and your team.
Yeah, we had my kids asking if this team was tougher than my team.
I was just going to.
Oh, that's such a hard question.
He took my next question. He took my final question.
Yeah, I was like, my senior year, we only had 5 in the finals and only 3 won. And they're like, "So are we better?" I was like, I'm partial. I'm a part of both teams.
I was waiting to see I was waiting to see what the response was for that one.
Yeah, I was like, the only thing I could say, I was like, well, we had 4 guys go wrestle Division I, so
yeah. that's a great way to answer it right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was funny, but you know, I'm glad they think that way and they want to try to be the best Soddy Daisy team that there has been. So
that's good.
You got the right mindset.
That's their goal. I'm telling you what, they got some great teams to chase after. That's for sure. So
that's right.
But Ulric and Elijah, we really appreciate you guys' time. Thanks so much. And man, just hats off to what you guys are doing there at Soddy, man. And thanks for not only making that program, really, really relevant again, but I mean, just, one of the state's best, and it needs to be. Like I said, there's just too much tradition there for it not to be. So we appreciate you guys' hard work, and we really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. You got it. Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, they had a heck of a year. That's for sure. Soddy Daisy. I like I said, I was telling you earlier, I asked Ulric if he wanted to get on there after they won that dual meet tournament. He's like, "Well, I'd rather do it in the state tournament." So he like, wait a second, no, I can celebrate the one, but I'd rather, get on the podcast and celebrate 2. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was, obviously foregone conclusion. I mean, they pretty much dominated. So that's awesome. But yeah, we're gonna move on to another guest we have in the state tournament and bring him to the stage right now. There he is, Rob Atwood. What's going on, man?
I'm just here.
Yeah. Well, you're just here. Well, we appreciate you joining us, buddy. This is Kenya Sloan, my co-host. This is Rob Atwood right here, newly crowned 3-time state champ.
Yes, sir.
3-time state champ. And help me with the pronunciation. I probably screwed up. Is it Truesdale or is it Trustdale?
Trousdale.
Trousdale. Okay, I really screwed it
up.
Yeah, I tried twice and didn't get either one.
Where is that?
We're located right above Wilson County. Okay. So we're like 45 minutes northeast of Nashville.
Okay, awesome.
There we go. And see, that was one of the really unique things. I actually met Rob last summer. He decided to go to Fargo. So he
decided.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, he'd never done it before. And that's one of the things he wanted to get done. So obviously, he reached out and, he came down for training camp for a week and, ended up, on our Fargo team and really got to know him. He's a great kid. And, yeah, I was looking, through a lot of the results and I'm like, yeah, that's right. He was a 3-timer. But then I started to dig into it a little bit more and it's super, super unique. And that's why I really wanted to have him on the podcast. Not only because you get like after the state tournament, you really could have the choice of, 30 kids, because they did something really spectacular. Yeah. But Rob's a 3-time state champ now after last weekend. And he's one of 2 kids on his team. So that's so wild to me, especially on the boys' side. On the girls' side, obviously, you get some, you and Ella were, really the only girls that you had on your team, and not that it happened. That's, it's a lot more common on the girls' side than it is the guys. The guys' side, usually they can get some people, going. So I got a hold of Coach Ham, and, and I was like, is this right? I mean, he's like one of 2 guys on his team? He goes, yeah, he was literally the only kid of the team for the first 2 years. I'm like,
wow. Oh my God. So you have to give us some insight.
Yeah. So we're giving you the floor now, Rob. Talk us through your high school career.
So coming into my freshman year, my we went in front of the board for 3 years going through middle school, just trying to push and get a team. My parents went in front of the board over and over again. And they finally got it worked out my freshman year with the school board that we first tried to co-op with like Wilson Central and all these other schools. And then my parents agreed that if it came down to it, that they would fund everything. So going into my freshman year, my parents funded everything from 14 singlets because that's all they could find to anything and everything that I need. They pay all of my tournament fees. The school pays for nothing.
Wow.
I mean, they pay for they don't even pay for hydration tests. I have to do that. We have to pay for that even too.
Wow.
And I was, for my first 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year, we was a one-man show, as I call it. And we get into my sophomore year, going into my junior year, and Josh Martinez moved from Arizona, and then the Red Bull in Springs, which is about 30 minutes maybe away. And he's saying that we had a wrestling team, so-called. And they moved here. And he joined. His parents had to go in front of the board, and his parents had to do the same thing. My parents and his parents, they split all the entry fees. They pay for their own singlets, travel fare, all that. They had to pay for it, and it's been like that for the last 2 years, my junior and senior year. And it's just they've always had to pay for it, and that was always the struggle, is just trying to get time and get it there. So paying for everything and making sure everything's taken care of.
Wow.
So then who did you practice with? Who coached you whenever you're wrestling for high school?
Okay, so I train with a lot of people. During the summer, a lot of times I go down to Cleveland and I train with them, with Coach Knox and Coach Boskin and all of them. I train with Tyson Russell. And but coming into my freshman year, I grew up in the AAU Wildcat Wrestling Club. So I grew up training with Wilson Central my freshman and sophomore year. And then after going into my sophomore year, I started practicing also with Green Hill. Me and Jake were practice partners until I got way heavier. And I started training with them and training with next level Jake Williams. Mm-hmm. He's my main coach. Coach Ham coached me freshman year at the state tournament. And then from my sophomore year on to my senior year, Jake Williams and my dad have always been in my corner. And this year, I also started training a little bit with Station Camp, as they were a new program that was upcoming, and they had some young talent that showed. So they were the main people I trained with, and I got to give credit to all them people, because I wouldn't be who I am without Cleveland, Green Hill, Wilson Central, even Nashville Catholic. They know I drive out there. They've always been big supporters and everything. So I got to give credit to all them guys for always allowing me in the room to train. So
that's pretty impressive. Like,
yeah,
the more I was like looking in and reading, the write-ups and stuff on you. I mean, just, loving wrestling that much. You know what I mean? I mean,
yes, sir.
Wanting to start a wrestling program first and foremost. Second of all, finding you just named off 4 or 5 different rooms there that you just consistently just go and swap out to. That's impressive, because a lot of kids, and we live in the day and age of excuse after excuse after excuse. Mm-hmm. Why kids can't get good. Oh, they got to go to this big program because of all the partners and because of the what goes on there, and they're the premier team in the state, or whatever the case may be. I just highlighted one of my kids the other day when we did our state medalist celebration at our Young Guns Club. And I'll give him a shout out right now, but Kyle Nielsen, he goes to Spring Hill, and nothing against their program. They're a beginner program. They're big. They're just a brand new, a new school that went from small school, public school, to big school. They were in the big school division this year. And he went from, he got 3rd in the small school division last year. He just started wrestling as a 6th grader. That was his first year wrestling. And now he placed in the 3rd. He placed 3rd last year for Spring Hill in the small school division. They bumped up to the big school division. And the kid that he beat for 3rd place was a 4-time state medalist from, I know he's from Memphis, but the Balls kid from Memphis. I can't remember a specific. I think he's an Arlington kid. But when that kid place in the state tournament his freshman year. Kyle was a 6th grader and just started wrestling at a small program that doesn't have a whole lot of kids on the team. But he just found a way to do it. He found a way to go and find practice partners. He found a way to make it to a Young Guns practice. He never misses practice. He's always there. I mean, he's always trying to do things. He went to all kinds of stuff in the off season. So you can do it. And guys like him, like Rob Atwood, I mean, this kid right here that's on our screen, my God, this kid's the amount of interest and the amount of love that he has for the sport of wrestling is very, very, very motivational. It should be. Just tell everybody there is no excuse out there. There is no excuse. And this guy is living proof of it. So
thank you.
Question. I mean, it's a great, great story. I love it. And with that being said, what are you doing next year? You're a senior this year. What are you doing next year?
Next year, I'll be attending Virginia Military Institute to wrestle with Coach Gibson and them guys. And I'll be attending for I'll be pursuing mechanical engineering at first for right now, unless I change my mind. It's very possible for me to change my mind.
Because it's very difficult. But listen, this kid right here found about 5, 6 or whatever. How many? Shoot, I don't even know how many wrestling rooms throughout his wrestling career. It was a one-man show for the 2 years. Last couple years, he's been a 2-man show. And now he's going and wrestling Division I at VMI.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whoever is an interest in wrestling, there are no excuses. There just aren't. There are no excuses. If you love the sport enough and you are driven enough, here's a perfect example right here. That's awesome. I tell you what, and I love what VMI is doing with their program. That facility, that new facility they have there is legit.
It's nice.
It's really nice. And I tell you what, that VMI education, man, that's a really great education, and that's really awesome. So I'm really excited to hear that you're going there next year, Rob. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So engineering though, that's the thing, huh?
That's the plan right now.
You must be pretty smart.
It's like I'm about to start being smart.
Yeah.
If you're not, you better figure it out real quick, huh?
Yeah, better. Better figure something out.
Yeah, I tell you what, because I think if I'm not mistaken, the engineering schools is pretty good. It's pretty tough.
They're like number 13 in the nation for engineering.
Yeah. I was at Cal Poly, and we had a really good engineering program as well.
Yes, sir.
It was different. It was really difficult. Like it was like kids that would come in that would wanted to go down the engineering route. I mean, we couldn't pull any punches, man. We're like, listen, it's just not easy. It's really difficult. It's very difficult. But I don't know, from what this guy's been doing for the last years, pursuing 3 titles, man. I don't know, man. This ain't nothing.
They always say if you can wrestle, you can do anything. So I believe it. We're going to Rob Atwood as a mechanical engineer here in a few years.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good. So moving forward here until you head off to VMI, what's the plan here? Are you wrestling in the spring, summer, or anything?
I'll be training. Right now, the only thing I have coming up right now is Border Wars, which would be the 16th. I have many people asking me to wrestle on the Virginia Beach duels, and I got many people that want me to wrestle Virginia Beach individuals. But right now, it ain't really crossed my mind. I don't really have it. It's not something right now that I want to do, but it's not something that won't come up next week that I want to do. So I change by the minute, if you don't know the truth. So I could not.
Love it. That's awesome.
So
good. Well, like I said, if you choose to wrestle in it, shoot, man, my money's on you, big dog.
Really?
All right. Good. Kenya, you got anything else from my man here?
Nope. I just want to say congratulations. And I think, like Kat said, you're a perfect example to you had every excuse in the book and chose not to take a single one of them. So, like Kat said, you're an inspiration and true testament to what some hard work and dedication and genuine true love for this sport can do. So, it's really refreshing to see someone who loves our sport that much. So, thanks.
Thank you. Right. Thank you all for having me on here.
You got it. Rob, we appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You as well. Thanks, buddy. Wow, that's crazy, huh?
That's great.
Dude, finding those wrestling rooms, that's nuts.
Because you were comparing it to even like how it's kind of more common for girls, but even so, it's like, there's probably at least a boys program. Like you at least have a place to go practice a few days a week. If it's not perfect. Like this guy had to probably wake up and be like, where am I going to drive to for practice?
I know, where am I going today?
and easily could just not go. Do you know how many practices I would have missed if I didn't have him telling me you're not at practice, you're off the team. Like there was weeks where that's probably the only reason I went to practice. I mean, and this, I mean, he could just do whatever he wanted, and he chose to show up every day. So, I mean, that really is.
You're preaching to the choir there. Yeah, I thought I found something else to do without question. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, what a great kid. I got to know him a little bit last summer. He's a great kid. He really is. So, all right. Well, here, I tell you what. Let's do this. I'm going to go run down these. Now the national prep results a little bit different. I didn't see the team scores, so I have to go down and kind of go by weight class. But I can point out the Tennessee kids at All-American. I'll do the best job I can here. 106. We had one. My boy Tanner Tran, 7th place there at 106. All-American there from Father Ryan. Father Ryan had a great tournament. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I want to say they had 5 All-Americans, maybe 6. So we'll see. We'll see. You listeners can count them. But anyway, 113, we had another one from Baylor, Jacob Bond. He's a couple-time state champ here at Baylor. So he was also 7th at 113. 120. I know we had one here as well. Yeah, there it is, right there. Joseph Calvin from Father Ryan was 6th at 120. Like I said, man, Father Ryan, they put it on. 26. Another Father Ryan guy, Brody Gobble, man. Congrats to him, man. He's had a really great couple weeks, man. I'm super proud of Brody for having a really super strong finish this year. So 4th place national preps, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. 132, Case of Roark, another great tournament. He ended up 3rd, fighting all the way back for 3rd place. Had a great tournament there. And also Spencer Reap, who we wrestled in the Tennessee state championship finals. So we had two All-American, we had 2 prep All-Americans going at it in our state finals for private schools this year. So that's awesome. And congratulations to Case and Roark from Father Ryan and Spencer Reap from Lakeway Christian Academy for All-American at 132 at Prep Nationals. 138, what we have here? Didn't look like we had anybody there at 38, 44. Nothing there. 50. Father Ryan, Chancery Dean, there he is, 8th place. Knew they had another one coming through. 8th place, 150, Chancery Dean. Great job. Congratulations to him. He's a state champ here for us as well in Tennessee. 57, nope. 65. Max Norman, Baylor School, 6th place. Congratulations to Max. I believe Max, if I'm not mistaken, is a 3-time state champ now. 2 or 3-time state champ. Yeah, but congrats to Max. Another, place in another national tournament. So 7th place at 175. Drake Bowers, Christian Brothers. Super proud of that guy, and we'll get to chat it up with him a little bit. But he's had an outstanding year. So big congratulations to Drake. At 190. 190, we had Lakeway. We had Jay Eversole from Lakeway Christian, state champ as well. Placed 8th. Congratulations to Jay. He had a great season this year as well. So, man, hats off to him. Chattanooga Christian School had another another one of our All-Americans here in Ryder Smith, who was 6th at 215. And then in the heavyweight division, there he is. Carson Gentle was 5th from Macaulay School. So really good showing for Tennessee. I mean, that's quite a few All-Americans rattled off. I should have counted them if I were a better host and I were better at these results things. I would have counted them.
A few things to cover today. It's okay.
Shoot, I mean, there's like, I don't know, it was like 12 or so. I mean, something like that. It's a lot. I mean, it's good. It's a good number. I mean, we actually had a lot of participants. This used to be something that the private schools here in Tennessee didn't really take part in. They just didn't go. And then what happened? Yeah, because it used to be where the private schools and the public schools all would wrestle in the same tournament, tournament, and, on the same weekend. So if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on it, but I think it was Gordon Connell, who's a really, really big push from Macaulay School, just said, hey, listen, we need to get these guys to national preps. So basically what they did, they took the private school state tournament and moved it off that national preps weekend. So now that's the reason that the two are split up. So it gives our private schools a chance to go to the national preps, which is really, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're in a private school program, I mean, that should be your goal. I mean, granted, winning the state championship is great and all. I mean, there's a lot of pride to that. But at the end of the day, there's another competition out there. And I think that, us moving forward as a state, I mean, you could really tell Henry Blue, who's basically the main man here for our representation here at the National Prep Tournament. We were talking about this before that week, and we just have a lot more participation. It's not just the traditional, powers of Father Ryan and Macaulay Baylor and Christian Brothers sending guys now. I mean, I know we had two guys here from Middle Tennessee from Brentwood Academy that went. Lakeway, obviously, when they started coming on the scene, when Tony D'Angelo started that program, they go every year now. Chattanooga Christian is another one, that's starting to send guys now. So we're starting to make a much bigger footprint on the national level, which is really, really cool, because this is the premier private school tournament in the country. I mean, Wyoming Seminole Blair Academy and Lake Highland Prep are there. I mean,
yeah. I
mean, it doesn't get any tougher than that, and plus, I mean, I'm leaving a couple other ones out, but do you have those three teams right there that are traditionally in the top 5 in just any type of rankings?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to test, you go there.
Yeah, truly.
So it's awesome to see, Tennessee really representing. So I'm going to bring on our next guest, our last guest here, and he's had himself a pretty successful national preps, but there he is. My main man, Drake Bowers.
What's up, Coach?
Save the best for last, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, everybody else. I'm a little biased. Me and Drake got a little history. So I helped coach Drake a couple years ago.
That's right.
So at Christian Brothers, had a great time, and then plus I've known him and his family for quite some time. So Drake, what's going on, man? Everything good?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. I tell you what, man. He this guy right here, man, I've really actually been really fortunate. I mean, first of all, his head coach Derek Harrison, obviously, as you well know, Kenya, him and I are pretty tight. He's one of my really, really, really good friends, and so I got a chance to go coach with him 3 years ago, and I was just kind of on my nomadic journey around the globe, and I made a 3-month stop in Memphis and coached the Christian Brothers for 3 months, and it was awesome. And it was Drake's sophomore year. I know he placed his freshman year, I believe, but he barely placed. Is that right? And then sophomore year, he just, I think it was a lot. I think he probably jumped up about a couple of weight classes, really started growing, and didn't have a real good sophomore year. I mean, he was struggling along. We, pushing him through, and he ended up, not, getting on the podium that year. But man, from his sophomore year to his junior year, it was like I saw a whole other different person. This dude not only found the weight room, but I mean him. I think him and his boy.
Will, that's what the story leads to.
I think him and his boy Wills Bronson, like literally, I think they were out there like for the whole year. I look at these two dudes, and it was like, dang Hans and Franz, and he rolled through his junior year, state champion, senior year. I mean, very, very dominant year, really. I mean, here in Tennessee, and won a state title again, and now National Prep All-American, man. So I couldn't be prouder of a kid, man. I tell you what, it's been so cool to see this guy kind of grow up and kind of get through these last 2 years and with as much success that he has. So, yeah. So what do you attribute it to, Drake? Yeah, you probably part of it is he got rid of that Coach Hatcher guy your sophomore year.
Yeah, that was it.
Then you started learning a little bit about wrestling.
Yeah, that was really holding me back.
That was part of it. So other than that, what over the last 2 years, like I said, since I've seen this just huge growth and in your wrestling, what do you kind of attribute that to? I'm sure it's a lot of things, but
I think the main one was freshman and sophomore year. I was just kind of going through the motions. I didn't really have that passion or love for the sport of wrestling, but I found it junior and senior year, and I knew what I had to do, and I loved doing it, and so got that glory. Yeah.
I mean, you can really tell. I mean, you can just tell that I mean, overall, your attitude towards the sport was just, was just better. You started really enjoying being in wrestling, and it's just, I mean, wrestling's just way too tough to not enjoy it. It's
right.
just, if you're not enjoying it, your chance of success is not very good. It's just
right.
not. So yeah, it's just not. But so talk to us a little bit about last weekend. I mean, well, I guess let's start back a couple weekends ago with State. You had some pretty decent competition there, but it seemed to me like you really kind of went in there just kind of control everybody.
Yeah, I went in there with a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I could do, and I knew I was going to do it. And so I didn't really let nerves affect me in any way. I went out there and treated it just like any other match.
Yeah, for sure. Because like I said, I mean, pretty much handled everybody pretty easy. So I know, how about now, as far as like the national preps, if I'm not mistaken, was this your first? Oh, you went last year. You went as a junior, right? National preps. Okay. So what was the experience like from junior year to the senior year, as far as what propelled you to get on the podium this year?
I would say my control and neutral is kind of what propelled me. Not many know this, but I was actually going after my oldest brother, his takedown record. So I kind of like I kind of focused on neutral and just controlling neutral, and that's kind of what propelled me.
Did you get it?
I did not.
What was the record?
I think it was 182 in one season.
Oh wow!
Oh,
What'd you get to?
Yeah.
I don't know that they don't let me know the numbers, but I'm not sure if I made it or not.
Yeah. Well, I knew better than that. Well, I was an older brother in high school, but my younger brother was like really good. He was a lot better than I was. I wasn't chasing his takedown records. That wouldn't happen. Yeah. He probably had twice as many as I. So just for you to go and chase him, it's a little friendly brotherly competition, I guess, huh?
Right.
Yeah. So now you're a senior year. Obviously, no more. This is it. You're winding down your last few months here at Christian Brothers. Looking back at your last 4 years, I mean, what's it been like, being part of that program with Coach Harrison and just kind of the people that you've been involved with there?
It's great. It really has that family feeling. We're all just a family. We try to bring out the best in each other, and it's we're like super close, and we all enjoy doing what we love together. So, yeah.
Because you guys, I mean, you guys have a pretty intense, I should say, intense, but I guess a better word would be accountable program.
Right.
I mean, Derek is, in my opinion, is one of, if not the best coach in Tennessee from a high school perspective. I mean, he is on top of his kids like nothing else. I mean, I'm just and on top of meaning that loves them. Tough loves them sometimes, but also super, super accountable as far as they always have something going on, and they're always heavily involved in it. So kind of like take us through like what it is like, like your yearly schedule on what you guys have really kind of been doing for the last 4 years, and what's kind of helped you really kind of catapult to these last two.
Our schedule.
Like off season, in season, everything.
Oh, okay. So we're pretty big year round. We always go freestyle and Greco. We get a lot of Coach Hatcher. Freestyle Greco camps.
Yeah,
all throughout the summer, and Fargo. Freestyle Greco State. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we never stop. We're always wrestling, and so that kind of helps us, stay close.
Yeah. Yeah, even like I said, preseason. You guys are preseason nationals,
right?
I mean, their high school schedule is second to none. It's they travel a lot.
Yeah, every weekend. Yeah.
Yep, every weekend. So it's fantastic. Yeah. Well, so what are you gonna do? You gonna follow in your brother's footsteps at wrestling college?
Yep. Yeah. I'm actually using this spring break to visit some colleges.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go to Folkstyle Nationals.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Good.
So, yeah, I'll kind of get an idea on what the future is looking like with these college visits.
Yeah. Which ones are you visiting?
I'm visiting Shenandoah, and then Liberty. Those two, yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Good. Well, I'll tell you what, they got a dime in the rough, because you don't get a better kid than this guy. This guy's awesome. Yeah, you got a shiner?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You have been wrestling national preps, haven't you?
Yeah, that actually happened last match.
What else you got? Huh?
Hey,
Ooh,
find it well.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Kid shot in. I threw him to his back, and he hurt his ankle somehow. And so he fell to the floor yelling, and my face kind of just smacked onto his teeth. And so he split my forehead open and hit my eye.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, the price it takes to be National Prep All-American.
That's right.
Love it. Kenya, what you got for my man here?
I can't wait to have you on here to announce your where you're going to college, your signing commitment. So congrats on your success this past 2 weekends. We're excited.
You owe us that, Drake. You got to give us that as soon as you commit. I got to have you on for a commitment show.
Yes, sir. I'll shoot you a text.
All right, that sounds good. Man. Sounds good. All right, anything else for us?
No, sir.
All right,
thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course, man. Of course. Okay, and like I said, man, congratulations. This guy right here is like literally the epitome of somebody that sticks with it. I mean, really, honestly, and man, to finish up his career as a national prep All-American, nothing more fitting. Nothing more fitting. I'm so proud of you, bud. Proud of you.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Awesome. Good deal. All right, my man. Well, I'm sure I'll see you here at some point in time soon.
Yes, sir. See you. Thank you.
Yeah, he's a great kid. Yeah, he's awesome.
Can tell.
Yeah, he is. And man, I tell you why, because I was in there. I was in the room the year that he was struggling. You know, you just tell he's been wrestling forever. That's one of the things. You know, it's hard when kids have been wrestling for a long time. You know, him and his whole family. It really started when they were young, and you could tell he was just kind of like, it was just, you know, he didn't have the fire that you needed to be successful. And he just refound the fire. And now he had a really, really good. He's had a great last couple of weeks. That's for sure. Doubled up on a state championship and national prep All-American. So that's a big honor.
That was something you kind of in common with all the guests that we had. Like, I mean, I think it speaks to a testament of what it means to be a wrestler, is that no matter what, like whether it be, you know, being the only girl on your team or not having a team or being on a program that's rebuilding and kind of building again from the ground up, or just like facing burnout. Like if you're going to wrestle and be successful at it, absolutely you're going to have adversity, and absolutely there's going to be times where it's going to be easy to quit and make excuses. But that's what makes a difference between someone who wrestled and someone who's a wrestler, I guess, is probably one way to look at it. So I
like that. I might steal that from you, Kenya.
It just came out after I said it. I was like, oh,
listen, I might steal that from my co-host. I might be listening to this again tomorrow while I'm working out. I'm like, fast forward to this to 121. And,
but it's you meet so many people as an adult. Like if you're a wrestler, you meet people and they're like, oh yeah, I wrestled for like a year in high school, and I'm like, okay. But there's a difference when you meet someone who wrestled and someone who's a wrestler, you know. So or who was.
I love that.
But and I think that all of our athletes today were a perfect example of that. So
I tell you what, you just gave me some inspiration when I talk to the kids tomorrow night. So you either wrestled or you're a wrestler. You choose.
Drop the mic.
You choose.
Yeah.
You choose. So all right, that was awesome. I tell you what, that was. We had some really great guests. I knew this was going to run. We're only at the hour 20.
Yeah, good.
We're doing good. We cranked through this pretty good, but it's awesome. I tell you what, here's what I think, and I'm just throwing this out here, and because it's going to kind of go into another segue I got, but just the kids in our state now that are going out and finding competition, awesome. I mean, like the guests that are on here, like Rob Atwood is from. Neither one of us even knew where that were. And I even pronounce. I still probably pronounce it wrong. Trousdale. I'm not sure. 45 minutes north of here, I guess. You didn't even know where it was. You've been.
No, I didn't know what part of the state it was.
But a guy like that, goes and finds wrestling rooms and shows up and wants to go to Fargo. Drake's been competing and finding talent all over the place. Ella, obviously, that goes without saying. She's been all over the wrestling. The Soddy kids. Everybody's getting into this. They're all understanding that. Listen, if I want to be good at this, I got to go find really good practice partners on a consistent basis, and I got to go to really good competitions. I've got to get out of my comfort zone. I have to get out of my comfort zone. So I'm proud of our whole state. This is I guess you could call this quote unquote the wrap up for the high school season. But man, I tell you what, I couldn't be more proud of the boys and the girls side in Tennessee as far as like the level of wrestling in our state now. There was legitimately like we had a state, we had we had 2 All-Americans in one weight class going out at 132 in the private school divisions this year. That's impressive, and just a lot of like marquee matchups throughout the year and of guys that are wrestling that made college commitments already. It's fantastic to see. I can't wait to see where we're at in 5 years. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So with that being said, here's what I'm doing. Okay. And I talked to some of our board members for Tennessee Wrestling, and I don't know if it's okay. So you guys can either comment. I don't think we see these StreamYard comments like when you watch it on YouTube. So comment on this podcast or email me if you don't want to just throw it out there. But I think you should throw it out there because I think we'd like to get a little discussion on there. but I would like to set up some sort of, I don't know, like super duel, super match. So what kind of matchups throughout the state would you guys want to see on the boys and the girls side? I'm talking like I'm throwing out. I want catch weight classes. I've got the venue here in not even the middle Tennessee. I'm talking downtown Nashville that we would be willing to really.
I got some
thing together. So okay. I'm talking like if you want to see, I was scared if you want to see teammates wrestle. Jose Cordero 106, Chase Walker 113 from Cleveland at a catch weight of 110, or like maybe shoot. I mean, I'm just throwing a Max Norman and Trey McTorrey at the two, a private school, like one, whatever, 60 something that Max was. And Trey at one. You guys tell me what matchup or one of the Ulric boys against, I don't know. Mason Jacob already wrestled JoJo once. Who you want to see Ethan wrestle? I don't care who it is. Kenya, I know from the girls' end. I mean, how about Ella Murphy and world champion Piper Fowler?
I'd like to see.
Listen, I'll tune in for that.
I'd make the drive
for that. So you guys tell us what type of matchups you want to see, and I would love to pick 5 of them and make them happen. That's at least 5 of them. It may be 7 of them. I don't know, and make them happen for one night. Put it all as an event, and that's what I want to do. I'm trying to be like the Dana White of Tennessee wrestling.
As you should. This would be a dream.
But it'd be cool though.
This would be so cool. I'm so happy that you brought it up. And obviously, it's going to take a lot to organize the event, but it's going to take a lot on the athletes' perspective.
I ain't scared.
I know, but I'm like, you wouldn't. This is going to be super cool.
I got plenty of time. I mean, they run running a couple of volunteer organizations and try to do 2 businesses, and I got plenty of time. Trust me. For something like this, I would 100% do it. And I'm telling you, I'm talking like catch weights. I'm not talking. I don't want it like, oh, it's got to be a 106 over against a 139. No, I don't want that. I'm talking. Let's see who would you like to see wrestle each other.
Just let us know. Like no bad idea.
Let us know. There's no bad ideas. No bad ideas. Guys and girls. So I think that'd be cool.
I love it.
I think it. So we'll see. We'll see if we have any response. So,
we'll see.
Yeah. So cool. Next week, I'm going to throw this out there. Okay. Because right now, so when we normally start this, we started at 7 o'clock Central Time. 7 o'clock Central Time is 9 o'clock in the morning in Manila, the Philippines. I'm going on my trip next week. So I will be gone the next 3 weeks in Asia. So, I'm still planning on doing it. But here's the thing. I don't know. I think here, let me look at my trip here real quick and see where I'm at. Hold on here, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to catch you fresh from your
right off a 20-hour flight. Let's get it. I ain't scared. if I'm in the airport, that's the only caveat. Okay. So, all right. Okay. You know what? Shoot. Okay. I won't be able to tune in right away. So I don't land until 10 o'clock in the morning in Manila. So that'd be an hour late. So that would be like super late here. I don't want to do that. Okay. So here's the deal. We'll do it. We'll make an announcement. We'll probably have to do it a different evening and then throw it out there. So next week's going to be at a different evening on Tuesday because I still want to do it because I've got eyes and ears and I'll be there too at the AAU Youth State Tournament.
Yeah. We'll have some fun guests next week.
Kindergarten through 8th grade, you know it. So we're going to get a couple of little guys, a couple of little gals, a couple of middle schoolers, maybe a coach or two, and and chop it up. So I want to be on this one. So the following, here's the thing. It's kind of crazy because they're literally like a day and a half ahead there. So, but next week will be different. If you're paying attention to all of our social media and stuff like that, I'll let you know which the live stream is going to be. And then of course you guys can watch the non-live stream. So, but I don't want to hold our guests up till like 10 o'clock at night.
I know, especially since they'll probably be children, little kids.
Yeah. And that would mean it'd be like, and then, because I'd be keeping you up, Kenya, you want to be past your bedtime.
Listen, we're already past my bedtime on Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right.
So we don't want to do that. So we'll so tune in, see what's up with the with the time change next week. The following week, I think I should be okay. I think the following week I'll be in Yeah, I'll be in Chiang Mai in Thailand. So I'll be good there.
Chiang Mai. Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Can't wait. And then the only other one might be a little difficult. I'm going to be like literally in the middle of on an island in the middle of Thailand.
That's okay.
We'll play by here.
We've got loyal guests. You guys just pay attention and watch.
The next 3 weeks are going to be a little, maybe doing a little skipping around. So, but pay attention to social media. When we get on there, I'll make it convenient for the other guests, convenient for Kenya. I'm not really concerned about myself. I'll sleep when I'm dead. So that's that. Cool.
Well,
Kenya, you got anything else?
No, super great week. It's a good end to a high school season. It was sweet to be a part.
Actually, no. I want from the viewers. I want you to say how was your first experience with coaching in not only the state tournament but 2 finalists?
Oh my goodness, it was such a different perspective because I've wrestled in that arena on that floor. For 4 years, and so it wasn't a foreign environment at all. But to be in it in that role, it's such an emotional. Roller coaster in weight as I manage my emotions and my athletes' emotions and try and be there for everything they need. But it was so cool. I see why people like coaching. It was pretty great. But it's so cool just to see, it's inspiring to see your girls trust you and give you their all for day after day after day, and then continue to trust you at the tournament. And it's, you're both in it. We're both in it together. So it was really cool to be a part of it. I was just overwhelmed with pride for all my athletes.
I could tell when I was talking to y'all at the USA stand.
Yeah, you got to meet all my 3 that were there.
And you don't got any announcements of what's going on. What's in the future here? Do you?
I do. So
I'm gonna give you the platform here. You hear me always chirping.
You do. You're
doing advertising, But what we got here, Kenya?
Shameless plug. I formally announced the start of Knoxville Girls Wrestling Cup this past weekend. We passed out some flyers at the state tournament. So it'll be the first of its kind in East Tennessee for sure. But we'll have a wrestling club. We're starting at the beginning of April. We'll have a full summer of freestyle training and wrestling. I had to relearn folk style wrestling so I can teach high school, which says something about how versed I am in freestyle wrestling. So I'm so excited to get back to my bread and butter, what I've been wrestling for the past 6 or 7 years. So I'm super excited to provide this opportunity for girls in our state and in my hometown and in my part of the state, an opportunity that I never had and I wish I could have, and something that a lot of girls all around the country don't get the opportunity to have, which is just a space to wrestle with other high-level girls, to learn freestyle wrestling from, some of your home talent. And just to have something to call your own. So have some elite level coaching. We hope to have different female guests coming in and out, but I'll always be there. So that's what we'll start.
That's
if you want anything,
where's it at?
Yeah, we're hosting it at Knoxville Catholic. So Knoxville Catholic High School, pretty central to all Knox County schools to make it. But if you are far away, we're still, I've been doing privates on the weekends. And so if weekdays, it's hard to make it to Knoxville. I'm here. I just want to be able to be a support for girls and advancing their wrestling. Another thing I want to be super purposeful of is if you've got a senior on your team, a female who thinks she might want to wrestle in college but has just not known where to go, I would love to counsel her. So that's another part of what I'm going to do as my club, is just to help girls get to college if they want to wrestle in college, because there's no reason they shouldn't be able to. So I'm here for it. So Knoxville Girls Wrestling Club coming to April 1st.
That's awesome. I'm seriously, I think that's an all-girls wrestling club, and you running it. Look out, Knoxville. I tell you what, if you got any young lady whatsoever, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see the growth of that. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be huge.
Thanks, Hatch, for helping me put it together too. Got a perfectly well-versed club guy to teach me how to do it. So,
well, I've been doing it for 30 years. I better know something.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining in. I know they're a little bit longer tonight, but not too much longer. Power hour and a half.
Yeah, we had the state tournament, so we had way cool stuff to cover.
The state tournament, prep nationals, all good. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Next week, like I said, just pay attention. It'll be a little bit different time, but we'll still have it out there. Cool. All right, Kenya, thanks so much. Bye, everyone.